Errol Spence Jr. says that Terence Crawford has never fought anyone at his level, and he's going to have problems on Saturday night in dealing with the huge jump up in competition. Well, those sports words, just boxing here. Just want to speak a little bit about Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford about the upcoming fight. I have one concern, and it really concerns me that Crawford has a tendency to start slow. Um, and with him starting slow, he usually fall behind maybe 2 to 3 rounds or so. Um, and I've listened to a lot of ex and current boxers and saying that he's downloading information, and sometimes that he will give away some early rounds. Um, and me personally, I feel like that's a huge mistake because he's dealing with a fighter in Errol Spence Jr. who starts off pretty fast. And I think he'll be dealing with it'll be a huge deficit. He'll be behind some rounds, um, and he's going to need to shut Errol Spence out for the remainder of the rounds, or even score a knockout to even win the fight. So I think he might have to tweak his game plan just a little bit. I'm not sure, if he's going to go with that same particular game plan and, starting off, excuse me, starting off slow. But he has done it in his past, 6 or 7 fights. Um, so that's kind of a pattern for him. Um, but it's unlikely Crawford would start slow because Spence punch output and his pressure would force the 36-year-old to let his hands go, whether he wants to or not. Spence is gonna make him fight, and that's one thing that's going to happen. Errol Spence is going to make him fight. He's going to make Terence Crawford do some things that he's not accustomed to doing in the early rounds. Um, but Crawford has gotten away with starting slow in his fights over the past what 4 or 5 years, because he did fight lesser opposition. Um, some of the guys that he fought, he could afford to take his time figuring them out, and then turning it up in the second half and knocking him out like he has. He's knocked out every single opponent at 147. He knocked out Joe Horn, Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, Velasquez, Cal Brooks, Sean Porter, with the TKO because his dad threw in the towel, and he knocked out David Avanesian in his last fight. Me personally, I just think I think he needs to just tweak his his game plan just a little bit, just modify it for this particular fight, because one thing about Errol Spence, I know he's going to make him fight. And one thing about Errol Spence that I need him to do, he need to keep that hand, keep that left hand up, because Crawford do have that sneaky right hook. He has power in both hands, so he can catch Errol Spence, because sometimes Errol Spence does have lapse in defense. He has to keep that left hand up at all times, and not just concentrate totally on punch output and body work and stuff. He has to always keep his head on a swivel. Just don't step straight back. Keep his hands up at all times. And I'm looking forward to a great fight on Saturday night. I have Errol Spence winning by UD. A possible stoppage, probably in the late rounds, but UD. Not saying that Errol Spence doesn't have the tools in his bag to beat Errol Spence. I just favor Errol Spence in this, in this particular fight. Um, you know, typical. He's more fundamentally sound in my opinion. He has better defense in my opinion. And what we always say in boxing, a great big man always beat a great little man. So may the best man wins. More power to both fighters. Hope they go home to their families, healthy. Without too much harm. What they put on each other within a fight or whatever. But this is just boxing. Peace.